Hello and welcome to High Caliber TV, your source for figure and model updates every Wednesday and Friday. So this is sort of a Mistake Monday extra bonus Figure Friday thing since I didn't do any videos last week. I was actually working on this little guy between the Abrams stowage stuff while all that stuff was drying. So as you can see, this is the latest figure from Mantis Miniatures. He's the saw gunner. And there's a couple of mistakes that were made in this figure that culminated in where he's at right now. So the first one, the big one, is that on the box art he's black. He's a black fella, which is cool, but I somehow lost the head for the figure. It tumbled under the desk, the carpet monster got it or whatever, so I couldn't find it. But I did start going through my spares box, and this is an old, or it's a, not an old, but it's a World War II head from a GI by Alpine Miniatures, and he's got a cigar in his mouth, and he's got a lot of character to him. His wind's blowing in the hair, in the wind. But I know that Marines in Afghanistan don't get to grow their hair out, but you know, humor me a little bit. He's got a live resin replacement helmet with the dust cover off the glasses, and he's got a live resin replacement saw. I think that's a, yeah, it's just the saw variant with the collapsible stock and the short barrel. So then we've also got some Meng additions, the Meng cooler, Meng water bottle there, and a MiG Productions jersey barrier, and a custom base. I think this was just something Alan and I picked up at one of the shows in Seattle. So the second error, so that first error is sort of a happy mistake. I actually prefer him the way he is now. He's got a lot of character. I like how he's drinking out of the water bottle sort of thing while smoking on his cigar, which is sort of, he's just sort of a little different from the standard Marine stuff that you see. The second and far more unfortunate mistake that I made was that I had been applying all of this stuff. The base is just sort of an exercise in applying dirt to something, to anything. And I've been going away at it with Tamiya thinner, and it was either, no, it was a mix of Vallejo pigment and then light color pigments onto the thing using the Rinaldi press, the thing he uses in his track wells that I used on the Abrams a few weeks ago, and I was just sort of blotting that all over. And then for some reason I didn't remember that it was Tamiya paint thinner, and I had thought, because I had the MiG pigment thinner on hand and I was gonna switch over to that, but I forgot to switch over to it, and then I had just a brush loaded with paint thinner, and I started working the pigments into his lower legs here, and I actually even started getting up to here before I realized that some of the paint was melting. It was literally being thinned down to the resin because even the primer was acrylic. So anyway, so I immediately stopped what I was doing. Basically, this is my, you know, my dog ate my homework excuse for why his legs look so bland. But I had to wait for the thinner to dry, and then I went back at it with CMK Stardust pigments and Life Color and Vallejo, just the dry pigments, no thinner on them or anything like that, and I started working them back into the legs. And luckily for me, there's a lot of combat footage of Marines in Marjah on those long marches, and they're absolutely coated in dust, like especially when they had to walk from the where the CH-53s dropped them off to their objectives. They just walked it. They didn't have MRAPs or anything like that to take them. So yeah, so it's relatively accurate, but I was pretty choked. I'm lucky I didn't touch anything on his face or his hands, because that would have been definitely noticeable. But yeah, the mark pad is done in the same style as the Hobby Fan ones are. I don't think you can really see it through this camera, but it's there. Yeah, so all in all, a pretty neat little mini project. I'm pretty happy with this. I'll probably be taking him to either the Calgary show or the Vancouver show, or maybe both. I don't know. Mantis figure went together like a dream. It's just awesome. And I've still got his mate with the M16. So yeah, you'll be going into something else, some other marine thing. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Check us out at highcaliberminiatures.com, links in the description. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys have had any sort of mistake things that you were able to turn to your favor, or, you know, those sort of, because this mistake, the one with the thinner, it was the kind of thing where the figure was done, the base was done, everything was done, it was ready to go into, ready to get a dull coat, and then I melted it. And so it was one of those sort of hair pulling mistakes. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.